Welcome back, family. Welcome back to What's the Juice at the Juicy T 1111 Energy. Y'all, I'm sitting up here cracking up, right? Because I was like, okay, Spirit, we got to tap into some energy, right? So I heard Three Eye Atlas. I said, I ain't tapping into that energy, Spirit. I don't need nobody knocking on my door talking about you know too much. You need to come with us. I got too many problems. I'll be like, hold up, wait a minute, hold up. Hold up, it wasn't me. I ain't got nothing to do with that. Right, family? This is funny. I was thinking to myself, nah, spirit. I don't want to tap into that that energy right now. I don't need nobody knocking on my door talking about, yes, ma'am. When we confiscated your phone and hijacked all your pictures, we saw these pictures. I'd be like, oh shit. Well, you wasn't supposed to take my phone and jack all my pictures, asshole. Shit, don't come talking to me about shit. No, no, right? Oh man, y'all, I'm over here tickled. Mm-mm-mm. Woo! Okay, there's a few messages coming out. Thank you for tapping in. Thank you for being here. I love you. The divine loves you. Y'all, I have been craving soda like crazy, right? But I was like, dang, I don't want to keep drinking pop. I don't want the pop, right? I want something else. Why do they make these? Oh, well, let me show you. They're called ice and they're waters with zero sugar in them, but they have the fizz like soda pop. What is this called? Sparkling ice. Okay, so I know some of y'all gonna drop it. Oh, that's not healthy. Well, it's as good as it gets. It's got some antioxidants in it, and it's like soda pop. So for y'all who are battling, uh, you know, drinking soda, actual, syrupy soda pop and all that, try that because it's pretty good. And they got a different variety pack and everything. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. Okay, enough of me rambling. Let's get into the message. I call upon the divine light to surround me. I invite my ancestors, guides, and protectors to stand with me. No lower energy may enter this space. Only what serves truth, healing, and highest good is welcomed here. And so it is. Ashe. Okay, so y'all, I just started laughing. Let me go to see what this energy. Let's see what the energy is in the major arcana. Okay. I got a deck little while back, and this is the deck, and it only has the major arcana cards in it. Okay. So let's see what major arcana energy comes out. And then we're going to get the messages from there. But I was like, yeah, spirit, nah. We ain't going down that Three Eye Atlas road. We ain't about to do it. Cause I don't know. I don't want to talk. Like I said, I don't need nobody to come knocking on my door. Talk about, are these your ancestors? Is this your kinfolk, right? We're like, oh shit. Oh man. Uh-uh. I don't need nobody coming in like that. What is the energy, family? Thank you. The Hermit. Hey, okay. The Hermit. A period of solitude and inner exploration. Okay, so you're exploring yourself, you're going inward, you're taking your time with yourself, you're loving on yourself, maybe even others as well, but from a distance, right? And you're taking time away to gain clarity and wisdom from within. Okay, so you may be in hermit mode right now, and it's a good time to be in hermit mode. Now, y'all, I'm born and raised in a cold state, but we get all four seasons, okay? And so there was a time where I used to hate the winter. I'd be like, ooh, I hate the winter. But it was weird because we used to walk around in our flip-flops and shorts and run it to the store. Not like walk all the way to the store, but, throw it on, hop in the car, drive to the store, get out and walk. You know what I'm saying? But there was a time when I used to hate the winter. Now I'm like, I love the winter. Okay. Oh, also, some of you may be very creative right now. So this is an urn, and it has the ashes of my mother in it, and it was a necklace, and it broke. The necklace broke today. So I just made this bracelet, And I think it is totally dope. But some of y'all may be tapping into your creative side right now, okay? Because of the shifts that are taking place. I feel like you're tapping into, just being more creative. Because when the necklace broke, I ain't gonna lie, I tried to fix it, and I was like, oh man. So I sat there and someone was like, make a bracelet. And I was like, yep, that is true. Make a bracelet. So some of you guys may be tapping into your creative side during this hermit mode period. Then we have out here these two. Okay, justice and judgment. Wow, the two J's. JJ may be significant. Initials JJ, JT, TJ, something like that, okay? Because you have the hermit out here and then justice and judgment. So, wow. Some of y'all could have called down judgment. It says, reflect on your self-criticism and judgment of others. Focus on inner renewal. So I feel like in this hermit mode, time, and I feel like many of y'all have been in hermit mode for a long time. During that time, during your self-reflection, during your introspection, you call down judgment on a lot of stuff. You call down judgment on yourself, and you also call down judgment on other things. And when I say calling down judgment on yourself, I mean like you could have been somebody that was beating yourself up all the time because you just felt like you couldn't get it right when it came to relationships with people. But in actuality, family, it was the people that couldn't get it right when it came to you. Because I think you're pretty solid. You know what I'm saying? I feel that. I feel like you're solid. Like you don't have nothing to hide because you just don't have time. It's easier to go on and keep it real and tell the truth and just be your authentic self than trying to be something you're not. Because that is not always good. Let me tell you, your mask has got to come off. If you're being fake or anything like that, deceitful, anything like that, the mask is going to come off. You're not that kind of energy. You are who you are. That's one thing I feel people are going to say about you. You are who you are. You are not somebody that's just trying to come up and, I don't know, be all extra nice and all. You just are kind until you're not, or you're kind until you feel like you're being taken advantage of. And then you're not even rude or disrespectful. You just back up. But you do got a mouth on you, though. For some of y'all, for many of y'all, you could tell somebody to kiss your and keep it moving type energy. But I feel like the hermit mode perspective, you going inwards, then you looking outwards, because as within, so without, right? As above, so below. So after you go in and you dissect everything about your life and how you feel about things and how spirit delivers you your messages, your downloads, pertaining to yourself, your introspection, where your heart is truly at, then you went and got to looking at the world. Ooh-wee. That's where that judgment came from. That's where that judgment came from. And the last thing out was justice. Consider the karmic consequences of actions, and not just your actions, but other people's actions. See, because here's what I have to explain and it's not really explaining. It's just me gonna tell you this. Everybody wants their people to survive. But when you know that your people have often been targeted for the worst of the worst, and they really are not the worst of the worst. And I'm not saying any group is the worst of the worst. I feel like that's an individual decision to be that way. Okay? But when a group is all categorized as being the same damn thing, that's a problem. Excuse me, I had to drink some of my soda water. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always going to be some bad apples, but that doesn't mean that entire group is that way. It really doesn't. And that's what I feel like people have lost sight of. They started listening to the propaganda. They started listening to the hypocrisy. They started listening to everything and all things negative when it came to all groups of people. Not all groups of people are the same. You got bad actors in every group. So after you sat down and you looked at yourself, you looked at the way you live, the way you've done people, treated people, you know what I'm saying? Overall, I could solidly say I feel that you have treated people with respect. For your friendships, you've been loyal. For your relationships, you've been faithful. Have you always just walked a straight line in your relationships? Probably not, because many of you weren't healed or hadn't been healed, and sometimes the hurt and the pain may have caused some revengeful acts. Okay, and I don't mean like anything physically harmful, but hey, you might have cheated. Okay, things of that nature, right, in your relationship, but it was like you cheated after they cheated type energy. Either way it goes, two wrongs don't make a right, right? Okay. But nevertheless, during this time of Hermit, you called down judgment. And here's the justice. hmm And it's a cause and effect energy right now. And at the bottom of the deck, yeah. Look who's at the bottom of the deck. Empress energy. Yep, you're being guided to nurture yourself and others with compassion. You can be a mother, or you could just have a nurturing, fertile type of energy. Something about fertile opportunities for new beginnings arise here. hmm That was funny. Spirit is something else. Woo! Spirit's like 3-eye Atlas. I said they will not be at my door talking about Nathan. Nada. Okay. So tell me more about this. So when I just did a little quick one shuffle, turned it over, I feel like many of you went into Hermit because you had to identify with yourself, okay? Not as being somebody's imposter or not somebody trying to tell you you were an imposter, but you had to identify with yourself, and that's when you realized you were dealing with a lot of impersonators. hmm You were dealing with a lot of people that you realized they weren't who you thought they were. Message. Because we all do it. I mean, because you're always looking for the best in everybody. And everybody ain't like you, family. Okay? What else caused this hermit mode? Or what else was discovered during this hermit mode time? Spirit, please and thank you. That you are a friendly being, that you have met some friendly souls. You may have met somebody who's friendly. I come with warmth and good intentions and bring joy and light to your life. So you may have met someone, or during your time of hermit mode, it may have moved you into a more friendly energy, especially if you weren't just surrounded by the everyday grind and hustle of the, toxic work environments and stuff like that. Because it was a hot mess. Back in the day, you can get anywhere normally 15 minutes. Not no more, right? So now you're dealing with congested traffic, road rage, going into work, upset, getting to work. You got an old somebody there that gets on your nerve. You just, damn. That's jacked up. So during this time of you being in hermit mode, you were able to just really relate to yourself, tap into you, who you are, who you've always been. People have always called you extra. People have always said you could be, like animated. A lot of Aries energies are extremely animated, but I feel like that's just a part of their creativity. There are a lot of Aries energies that are not animated. I don't know why that came up, but it did, yeah. And then you also realized you were being sabotaged, okay? You started having to look at everything, family, because you were like, is it me? You know? And you're like, damn, if it, is it me? What did I do? And then it was like, if you weren't saying nothing, something had to be wrong with you. But then when you were talking, then it was just too much. It's just like, okay, you were irritating folks' demons. Because they wanted your attention, but then when you were quiet, it was a problem. Something had to be wrong. But then when you were talking, you weren't just saying the right things. Or you weren't saying things that appeased them. Or whatever you were saying had everybody else's attention. And folks around you were jealous because they couldn't get people's attention like that. And it wasn't like you're trying to get people's attention. You're just saying something that I guess made sense. But a lot of people didn't like that. Hmm. So you had to do a lot of introspection. You had to look at things from the perspective of, okay, if I am, let's say you're looking at yourself outside of yourself. Did that make sense? So let's say you're just walking in a store and you're like, hey, how you doing? And you're all bubbly and stuff. A lot of people be like, ugh. They don't like that shit because they mad, number one, because they just had to go through what I just said. Traffic, road rage, get to the job, somebody at the job on their nerves they really don't like, or they're at a job they don't like, so their attitude is bad. But you know what I'm saying? It didn't have nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with them. But then because of their energy towards you, you started looking at yourself like, well, damn, is it me? What did I do? Hell on that. Mm-mm. Nah, we ain't doing that no more. It's like, shit, you don't like me, something wrong with your ass. No, I'm playing. That's funny, but I'm just saying, family, for real. Not like that. Not everybody's going to like you. But I mean, if you walk in a store and that's like a, 5-minute interaction and somebody giving you attitude, yeah, they got a problem. Facts. Now, if you dealing with a coworker, ugh, that's a whole nother story. You let that motherfucker sit in that cubicle and just be mad. Or let them do whatever they doing and just be mad. You know what I'm saying? Type energy. But I feel like during this time you were able to see who was being the impersonator. You were able to see who was really being genuine when it came to kindness, and being truly friendly. And then you were able to see who had been sabotaging you, deliberately working to undermine your efforts and place obstacles in your path. That's what you were able to do during this hermit mode or past hermit mode energy. You could still be in hermit mode energy. Anything else about the hermit? Right. You was reconnecting with yourself. I promise you. Hmm. Yeah. Sitting in hermit mode allowed you to reconnect with yourself. Thank you, Spirit. Hmm. Yep. Message. It sure did. And that's the beautiful thing, family. You know what I mean? You don't always gotta be around people like me. I be exhausted by other people's energy. I be needing a whole nap. Like, you know what? I gotta lay down and take a nap because you doing too much. Or you done did too much. I be like, oh, I'm exhausted. I'm going home. I gotta take a nap type energy. You can't be around large crowds either. It's just too much. Okay, Spirit, tell me more about this judgment. A judgment. Ooh, 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 ooh. Look what came out. You were that mirror, that reflection. That mirror. You were reflecting back what people were projecting onto you. And that was a problem, okay? You started revealing truths, not only about yourself, but about others, through what they were seeing in you and you were seeing in them. Folks didn't like looking back at that mirror because it was like, you trying to project love and harmony and tranquility and everybody getting along, making everything better, while other folks was hating on the whole fact that you were doing that, because they demons ain't about that. Their demons was about something else. So they didn't like what they were seeing, because once you started projecting back what they were projecting to you, oh Lord, all hell broke out and broke loose. All that, like, sit your ass down and shut up. Like, quit crying over nothing. What's wrong with you type energy, right? That judgment came from the mirrors. I told you you were frustrating people because when they looked at you, you're full of light. You're full of happiness. You're full of radiant energy. You're full of abundance. Even if you ain't got 2 pennies to rub together, you was full of abundance. But them, oh no, they had it all. They got the wife, the house, the dog, the kids, the picket fences and shit. They got the Benzes, the Audis, and whatever else, and they still was miserable as hell. You pulling up, you know what I'm saying? You ain't riding all hard like that. You just living. You're just living. You're living your best life. No, it's been a minute since I heard that song. Okay, but yeah, you were living your best life with minimal, and it was just they couldn't stand that. How you so damn happy, and I got more than you, but you happier than me type energy. That's what it was. So, during your time of reflection in hermit mode, you called down judgment. On everybody that had brought any type of chaos into your life. Because it was like, damn, I was bringing you love and respect and trying to chill and be on the level with you, and you were gaslighting me and manipulating situations and lying through your teeth, knowing you wasn't solid. And yep, bam, past energy. You left them in the dust. Okay? You looking back at them and them looking at you and them not being able to see you and them, that was frustrating. You put that behind you. You put that energy behind you in this present moment. Because the weight of what had happened between you, your loved ones, your co-workers, your bosses, just all the people that crossed you, you were like, I got to leave that behind me. Because it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth your energy anymore. It wasn't worth your time. You know? You want to live in peace, and living in peace is not carrying the burden of wondering who likes you, who doesn't like you, why, and what for. That sounds like that's a personal problem. And I used to think it was very arrogant to be like, well, that sounds like a problem, your own problem, or there's a saying they used to say, yo, yeah, it sounds like a personal problem to me. I used to think that was so arrogant. I'd be like, damn, why would you just say something like that to somebody? But that's just because I never looked at it like how I look at it now. Now you're right. You got a personal problem. I got 100,000 t-shirts I done from Temu that just reads the mood, okay? It's like, shoot, if I feel the mood, I'll throw that t-shirt on. Let's say it at 22, 11, 12, and 13. 22, 11, 12, and 13, okay? You could be born on the 22nd, the 11th, the 12th, or the 13th of any month, okay? You could be a master number 22. That could be your energy as well, okay? But this is the energy. So I feel like, you call down judgment on a lot of things that was frustrating you, okay, that you were seeing in others. While they were talking about you, you were seeing the actual truth. The actual truth. That's just it. Thank you, Spirit. The actual truth, okay? Many of this, at the bottom of the deck, you could have found yourself laughing at things as well, okay? It says, I'll be shining light in your life and bringing you laughter and joy, okay? That could have been how you looked at things. You could have turned your pain into power, but then your power brought about laughter. Like, you know how sometimes they say you gotta laugh in order not to cry, but then there's sometimes you could look back on your life and you could laugh at some things that took place, okay? And I feel like that's where some of you were able to heal, was through laughter. Laughing at some of the things that happened. Was it funny? Hell no, it wasn't funny. But when you look back on it, it's like, damn, you had the juice, baby. You had the juice. But you weren't looking at yourself like that. Okay? But everybody else was. But you weren't. You were just like, oh, I'm just here. You know what I mean? La, 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 la. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just here. I'm chilling. I'm relaxing with y'all. You know, we're having a good time or whatever. You know, I'm just here at work doing the job or whatever. But what it was you had the juice. And that was a problem. That was a problem. So tell me about this justice, please. And thank you, Spirit. Thank you for the messages thus far. Yeah, the justice is you ain't never been desperate. And the feeling had never been mutual. Like you were not cold hearted, you were not unfriendly, you were not disrespectful, you were not an energy that was manipulative, deceitful, a gaslighter, none of that. Everything you said was honest and real and true. You never had an act of desperation for nobody. When you really thought you had a connection with someone, you really thought you had that connection until they proved you didn't. You've never been a cold, manipulative, disrespectful. It was like shit. Somebody really had to do something to you for you to even lash out at them. And that's after you took, like, I mean, time after again abuse. Like, you know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to get you, off your square onto a rectangle. It really does. And I feel like, the feeling was never mutual. That's why justice came in the way it was, because whoever tried to paint you out to be like them, when they looked in that mirror, they had it all wrong. They had it messed up. Because you're not like them. You're just projecting back what they be doing. Shit. Motherfucker frown at you and you frown back. Oh, Lord, they gonna melt down. Because your frown is beastly. And you be like, I cannot believe I just did that. Done. Your frown do be like, looking like old pit bull or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we right. It be that is, there's no mistaking. It's definitely negative. So it's like somebody mean mug you, your mean mug be like, oh, well, fuck you too. It's definitely negative. There will be no mistaking about it, right? There's no mistaking you cool until you not. And when you not, that's what they be mad at. They like, oh my God. How did they go from this loving, kind, smiling butterfly into what you want to do? Bumblebee up in this bitch. You like, oh. Yes, I love Bumblebee on the Transformers. I think he's my favorite one. Okay. I don't know where this is coming from. Spirit, could you please? This is not like, what I'm saying? Cool, I'm trying to get a message out. Oh, my spiritual team's like, yeah, okay. Get the message out, but right. Family, you know what I'm saying, okay? But that is the energy, though. If folks was pissed at that shit, look, you brought closure in. They were like, okay, there's no mistaking. When they're cool, they really are being cool, and it's really sincere and it's genuine. But when they're not, oh yeah, they're really not. Now folks understand, they overstand, and that has brought some people some closure here. hmm Yeah. Now they're like, it's time to resolve the issue because they are who they are. They are not about to change. That is who they are. When they are in their highest vibration, that is who they are. It says it's time to resolve unfinished business and move forward in our lives. And that's what we're doing, family. With grace. With grace. Okay, I'm kidding. Let me stop. I could have probably. My grandma's church didn't have the kind of choir I wanted to sing in, so there was no way I was about to be up in there playing. They only had about 2, 3 good singers in the whole choir, but my grandma's choir is like real. Let me shut up. Okay, moving on. Let's get the let's get the rest of these messages. So, Spirit, right now with this first message with the Hermit, what is the energy? What needs to come out? What do you want us to know? What are the collective, the karmics, the cross watchers? What is it? What are the messages from this deck? Okay, let me see if I can hold it. It's a thick one. What are the messages from this deck? So some folks might want to wonder, asking you, will this ever change, I don't know, family. I mean, after you figured out you were dealing with these imposters and stuff, and some people could have been really being friendly and genuine. Others were really trying to sabotage you. I mean, this is where your discernment comes in, right? You could have been being the one that was being friendly. You might have been being too damn nice. I heard. Okay. Tell me more, spirit. Yeah, see, your friendliness was overwhelming to somebody. Emotions overwhelm me. So you were too happy-go-lucky. I told you. You were too happy-go-lucky for a lot of energies. You just too giddy for people. And it's not that you're like, that's just who you are though, family. I'm just going to tell you right now, you're just a giddy person. Like you're bubbly. Yeah, not giddy, bubbly. You're just bubbly, you know? Hell, you done been through a lot. So why be bitter? Shit. I'm going to tell you now, I do not have time. I'm not about to walk around here and be upset and mad at the world. That's just not that's not who I am. I don't like that energy. It's like, shit, okay. Shit happens. I got over it. Don't fuck around and do that again, though. You be like, at 30, 33, right. You looking at people like, don't do that again. I feel like many of you have been able to move on. You've been able to move on and pass a lot of the things that you've been through, but you're just not in the energy of where somebody like, don't play with me no more. I ain't lying to you about nothing. Facts. Like, I don't like lying. Because then that means you got to remember some shit. I don't have time to remember a damn thing. You know how old I am? Shit. I'm like, what? You know, I'm like, don't even come at me with weird shit, because I'll be looking at you like, no, I do not remember that. When that happened, oh, back in. Oh, you said back in? Oh, yeah, no. I'll just hit you with the, oh, I wasn't healed then, or I wasn't healing. I wasn't on my healing journey then. And that's the energy. So maybe your friendliness, your bubbly energy, your high vibrational energy could have been overwhelming for people. Okay, you may have realized that during your hermit, and that's why you know what, I don't want to say you dimmed your light, but you brought it down a notch. But they still couldn't handle it. And somebody out here, I can't handle your love. Yeah, they couldn't handle love. They couldn't handle your love. Somebody was whipped. Okay, well, maybe not. But I'm just saying, somebody couldn't handle your love. So they were like, if I can't have you, no one can have you. And then, just trying to sabotage everything because they were upset. Okay, if you weren't, I know that wasn't the case. I don't even want to say that. Something about if you weren't in their household, building with them type energy. They was sabotaging everything. That's going for somebody, because I know people ain't really running around here doing that, family. It's like, dang, half these folks that I be picking up on, you would think they have moved on, but for whatever reason, you are still in the back of this person's mind, these people's minds. For real. You're still in the back of their minds. Tell me more about this laughter. Laughter here. Yeah, you are too nice. I can't make it up. It says you are too nice. I don't deserve your kindness. Like, that is the energy. That's what they was looking at. They was mad. They were mad at you, family. They already knew they didn't deserve you. They knew they didn't deserve your kindness because they were plotting, negativity. Let's just say that. They were negative. Impersonating you, copycatting you. And when I say copycat, I mean like trying to copy your energy, trying to copy like who you really are. Everybody gonna say exactly who you are. Look, you have probably always been, who you are. You don't really know how to change up. That might be probably 3,400. You could be 34, okay? But that could be the energy. You could be 43, I heard. You could be in your 70s. Somebody's getting ready to turn 70. Somebody's getting ready to turn, an age where I feel like they are ready to sit in the sun with someone. Interesting. You could be 34 ready to sit in the sun with someone. You could be 43. Just say you anywhere from 30 to 70, excuse me. And you could be, now getting ready to, branch out and spread your wings a little. Oh boy. Look, I do not want to picture any of that, okay? But yes. And you could have just been this bubbly, happy-go-lucky kind of energy, and folks is like, that's just how you are. And look, wait. Some folks are going to say, nah, they ain't like that. But the ones that'll say that, ask them why. I promise you, them were the ones begging you for, you be like, what? Get back. Like, I don't know, family. There's things that turn you off, right? And they frustrate you. And it's like, I used to call, okay, this is bad, but how people say, yeah, they thirsty. I used to be like, fuck thirsty. They dehydrated in this bitch. Okay, what is this spirit? Yeah. And people didn't believe it. People didn't believe you when you said shit about shit. You be like, nah, I ain't gonna mess with that person. Why not? I just ain't gonna mess with them. Well, why not? Because they act like and then or you was right. Shut your ass up. I told you what I told you. You know what I'm saying? Type energy. You like, oh. But you didn't know that back then, you could have been young growing up through these times. Mm-hmm. When you had 17,000 billion friends calling, your phone wouldn't stop ringing, folks dialing, and you just, ugh. Okay, hey girl, and you could have been somebody that was really out there, like, and I don't mean nope, put the brakes on. I mean, you could have been a party animal, okay? You could have been somebody that was throw on an outfit and hit and be the blizzard of a storm, but you gonna throw on you an outfit with your coat, your boots on, thinking you're cute, you hitting the club, you gonna be handsome up in that bad boy smelling like ooh wee. Oh my goodness. Something about men and their cologne, they just I be like, oh. And then yeah, but you ain't desperate. You just know how to be like, damn. To yourself, ooh, he smells so good. Oh my land. And that's a bad too, because it's the cologne for me. I'd be like, put a paper bag over you. I'm playing. I'm kidding. No. I was kidding. But I mean, I have smelled some older gentlemen, and I know he got a whole wife, right? Because you just know, you can see it. So I don't want to be like eyeballing this guy, but damn, he smelled good, So that's why I tell Spirit, put a paper bag over him, you know what I'm saying? But let me smell him type energy. And people knew that about you. People knew that every time you were frustrated, it had something to do with somebody, because you just don't walk around in that energy. You just ain't tripping. You be like, look, I got to do what I got to do and get back to the house, like type energy. And that could be who you are now. Or when you're having fun, it's your type of fun. It's not the kind where you just got to be appeasing and pleasing and with other folks. And I feel like it took you some time to get here, though. It took you some time to get to where you are. Yeah. And look at this. How could you ever forgive the mess I've made, right? These are the people in the past. And it's like, look, all I said and all we're saying is it starts with respect and what is that called? Love with a silver spoon or long handle, my bad, damn. Okay. Love from a long handle spoon, and then that's just cool, and the reason that is, family, is because you have been on your healing journey. So you being on your healing journey has moved you into the energies where you don't have time to argue, you don't have time to get upset, you're not about to be tripping with people, okay? You're not about to be sitting up here getting into arguments and trying to explain yourself, trying to justify yourself, trying to get people to see things your way, trying to get them to see it from a different perspective, something that makes sense to them. Like, there are readings oh, I told you I don't like that. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't like that. That was bad, right? There are messages that come out, family. I may not say every last word. you want to hear. So put the words in there for me. You know what I mean? But it ain't like the path is doing this. You know? Here's my words. Here's your words. Whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? We flowing like water, right? You got people that are like, oh, now, like, I don't, I'm like, oh, so we that split on the decision or on the perception. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, make it make sense for you, right? My common sense, your common sense, it could be different. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see eye to eye on a lot. That's part of that common sense that ain't so common no more. And look, they still like, I can't promise you anything. I'm fucking done. They over here like, I can't promise you anything. This is why. Well, these people in the past, they can't promise you nothing. That's why I said that's that love at 40, 41, 42. Okay, that's that love at a distance. Love from a distance type energy. I cannot. Spirit is it's like, yeah, I can't promise you anything. But I try. Yeah, you ain't got time for that trying. You either get it right or get on. But I've been on here too long to me. Yep. Mm-hmm. Sure have. And at the bottom of the deck, you got a lot of people out here that feel like they just can't move on from you. And I mean, it's okay. It's okay to tell them that. Family be like, it's okay to move on from me. Mm-hmm. Facts. Because I'm a simple woman. You're a simple man. You're a simple divine mass, simple divine feminine, however you want to feel about yourself, right? Or you're just a simple higher vibing energy. And it doesn't take a lot to please you. But what ain't going to happen is disrespect. That's like, and when you feel that way, you just love from a long handled spoon. hmm And you've learned to do that. And what that consists of for those that are like, well, how you love from a long handle spoon? I'll tell you at 4211 how you love from a long handle spoon. You don't get in people's business. You let them have their peace. You treat them the way you want to be treated. You respect them the way you want the respect. And I don't mean you got to go around them to see them, because when I speak of people, I'm not talking about your friends, your families, and foes. Take it how you know. Okay. I'm talking about just everyday people, past and in general. hmm See, it don't mean you just, it starts first with your everyday interaction. That's if you have everyday interaction. And if you don't have everyday interaction, that's fine too, but don't lose, the skill of communication. Just simple respect. That saying, and it's said so much but not done all the time. Do unto others as you want done unto yourself. So if you want to receive respect and be respected, then that's what you do. Right? That's what you, reciprocate, or that's what you deliver. When you talk to people, hey, how you doing? Okay, da da da. And I'm old school, so oh Lord, I do. I be calling people like, dear, thank you, sweetheart. Okay, thank you. I don't know. I'm kind of older, so I talk a little different. But it's just like a respect thing. And then sometimes I just call people by their name if I know their name. Now, if I don't, I normally say dear a lot. For whatever reason, I've been saying that a lot. Like, oh, thank you, dear. Okay, thank you, dear. You know what I mean? Like, like a dear person, because it cuts out the baby and the sweetheart and doesn't get people upset. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. But that's how you love from a distance. And your family members, how you loving them from a distance, you're giving them their peace. You ain't on their phone. You ain't trying to find out their business. If they really want something from you, they know how to get in touch with you. I'm pretty sure. You know what I mean? But that's just how you love family, from a distance, if you can't actually, be with someone, or, be in their presence, or, just out in everyday life. That's how you could just love people, through respect. It's simple. For whoever had that question, okay? So I'm going to leave this reading here for y'all. Take it how it resonates. Hopefully it resonates, okay? If it doesn't, then don't worry about it. The next message may be yours, okay? Thank you for your likes, your shares, your subscribes, hitting your notification bell, tapping into the messages. I am truly grateful, okay? So at this time, I love you and the divine loves you. Let's close out. I release the weight of the matrix, deception, and betrayal. I stand rooted in my truth. I call back my power, my light, and my peace. I am whole, I am becoming, and so it is. Ashe. And until next time, you know what I love to say. Have a magnificent day.